Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Mistworld. Today we're going to go into the terrible and dark and horrible history of Astrakan Cell. Well, no, not really. It's not going to be that bad. So we're going back in time in Astrakan Cell's history. We're back in Honoskali, which is where they were working with their mentor Vincus as a jeweler's apprentice. Um, but kind of facing a few doubts at that time, bought a couple of DIY kits from the local technicians on how to make some bots, and they will be played by the other characters. We have instituted a few possibly unusual rules today, in that those playing robots can only describe their actions and say beep boop in various intensity. And if there's a misunderstanding, that's got to be fine too. Um, Astrakan, played by Danny, do you want to describe where you are in the workshop and what you're working on at the moment?
All right. So Vincus is a jeweler by trade,
Mhm.
and my apprenticeship with them was kind of the best that my mum could find for me when I expressed an interest in doing something that wasn't being an apothecary, which is what she does. So I'm currently doing some of the extremely boring apprentice jeweler work, which is getting wire and putting it through this. It's not really a machine, it's like a handheld device. You put wire in one end and it kind of turns it into this wire cord that comes out, and then you use that to make jewelry. And it's one of the few things that I can see some kind of use for other than making pretties. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I've got a whole list of things I should be doing. This is on the list. It may not be at the top of the list.
yeah, fair enough. And next to you, you got your companion Hebe, played by Connor today. Uh, Connor, could you describe Hebe and what you're up to?
Beep, beep,
Just for the description,
beep,
you can.
boop. Uh, Phoebe has small, sort of like little prototype spider bot, and is currently riding on Astrakan as a hat.
Fair enough. So this little six-legged spider bot riding on top of Astrakan, just kind of doing little sit-ups, I guess, on their scalp.
Sounds about right.
Fair enough. And then we have Wiggly, played by Lachlan.
Oop.
What are you up to?
I am currently trying to repower myself. I think
Mhm.
I'm stuck plugged into the wall, and then every time I drive away, I realize my battery's not actually connected. So as soon as I pull away from the wall, my power disconnects, and I have to wait for someone to plug me back in again.
So, and just to describe yourself, what do you look
I
like?
believe I'm just a skateboard with wheels, unlike normal skateboards that don't have wheels.
Yeah, well, you're an e-board, I guess, skateboard.
Yeah, I'm the hoverboard that everyone wanted, and then we got the other hoverboard that came out, and we're
Yeah.
really sad.
You're not just a skateboard though.
No,
You're
like
you're really fancy skateboard, like there are light up LEDs along one side.
the other side just used to work, and then I was dropped weird, and it stopped working.
Excellent. And then finally,
Asymmetry is cool, right?
Yeah,
and
I
then
can only
finally,
turn left.
That sounds like a childhood story from Lockie.
we have Damien, who made a ridiculously complicated code name for their character, and they've been reduced simply to the letter K as a result.
Yes, no longer 56K hardcore. I'm now K. Um, I am a spherical object with a eyeball. So rolling around, trying to perfect going in and out of people's legs to 75% success rate. So rolling around on the ground, and it's specializing or trying to specialize in connecting devices.
Boop, boop, boop.
Bing, bing.
So this little annoying cacophony of beeps and boops around you, Astrakan, as you're trying to concentrate on this task. Every now and then, Hebe, the spider bot, is kind of pulling at your hair as they lose their balance.
Trying to ratatouille you.
For anyone who's trying to imagine what this is like, it's like having a house with four cats. And I have four cats, so I know. It's like three of them are trying to trip you up and howling at you because they're hungry. One of them wants to be picked up and is patting at your leg. And somehow, although that still makes four, you've got one of them that wanders off into another room, comes back and is like, no, I've never been fed. I want to be fed again now.
Burp!
Welcome to my life.
Burp!
I plug Wiggly back into the wall.
Yeah. After about a half an hour of this scenario, Wiggly, you get fully charged because you finally, like, eventually Astrakan gets sick of your nonsense and puts like a little chalk in front of your wheels so you can't pull away. Uh, Astrakan, Vinkus kind of comes in, says, "Look, I'm heading out a bit early today. The shop, I'll close up the shop, but if you could just finish this list of tasks," and they kind of like run eye over what you're meant to be done. Look how little you've done. Add two more things and say, "Look, if you could finish those before you head off, and I'll see you tomorrow."
Yes, of course. Yes. Sure. Okay. Okay. Bye. Have fun.
They kind of look over at the pile of wire that you created and say, That's probably enough to last for a little while if you wanted to work on something else."
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? All right. All right. What's the next item on the list?
So the next item on the list is to sort through this delivery of gemstones that arrived earlier today. So it's basically just like putting rubies in the order of brightness, things like that.
Hmm. If I
Very
gave
pretty's job.
if I gave Kay a manipulator arm, I'm sure I could delegate this. How hard do you think that could possibly be?
He
You
be
don't
scratching your head as you
Bing,
think
bing.
this.
you, you don't actually need six legs, Hebe. You could walk around perfectly well on five.
Thompson runs away.
Is there anything in the workshop that I can co-opt to turn into some kind of like little claw leg for
Mhm.
Kay?
You start looking around, but as you do, you hear a big crash coming from the jewelry shop just in the next door.
Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna poke my head around. So the jewelry shop that's part of
The overall
the
workshop.
yeah, I'll poke my head around and have a look. What was the crash? What's going on?
Yeah. So what you see is you see a very standard hooded figure, basically ransacking some of the gems from the front. They turn around, see you, realize they've been made, and leg it out.
Wiggly, with me, after them.
Wiggly floors his wheels and realizes he's still sitting on a brick.
I kick the chalk out of the way and try to jump onto the skateboard before it leaves the shop.
Boop.
All right, so you jump on your little e-skateboard, boop boop beep. You look around and you have it's like a end of day crowd. People are starting to close up. There's a lot of people. You don't immediately see this figure that you're chasing after.
Before they leave, Hebe grabs Kay with like one claw and then
Yeah,
like grabs the coattails of Astrakan as they fly past.
excellent. So this little cartoon chain of robot and human human gnome and and robots goes flying out the door.
Yep.
Um, can
I want to
I?
go on.
So Hebe, no, it's Kay who has the vision thing.
Mhm.
Um, can I toss? Hebe's great. Thank you for grabbing that. Can I try to toss Kay up into the air and use my inborn little spell touched power to get him to levitate along with us, kind of like a balloon on a string, so that he can maybe see a bit more from a bit higher.
I, to be honest, I vision you more like tiger stringer at them and swinging them around like a flail.
Also possible.
Mm,
Have you done this before?
Nope.
This is going to be interesting.
Isn't
yes.
it just?
So Hebe, how do you feel about being swung around like this?
It's me.
That's
It's
okay.
Kay.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about this swing?
Kay at first goes along with it and then is super freaked out. Just going beep, 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 beep.
All right. While you do that, did you want to do a quick perception check to see if you can spot any evidence of this intruder? You've got advantage because you are nothing but a giant
Eyeball.
Spencer.
5.
5. Nice. So you straight away you look down, and despite the motion sickness that would otherwise overcome an organic creature, you manage to spot muddy tracks leading from outside the shop and towards the west.
I make noise and try to point my eyeball in the direction.
So every time you swing in that direction, beep.
Yeah,
Beep.
exactly.
As you swing.
Go, wing, 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 wing.
Yep.
All right. I mean, that seems pretty clear. I'll see if I can head in that direction.
All right. Are you still riding Wiggly, or are you gonna walk through the crowd?
You're definitely riding Wiggly. He's kicking into the 12th gear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's too dangerous to jump off at this point.
That's it. I'm going to roll for speed.
All right. Roll for speed as you zoom through this crowd.
I got an A6 and 2 double sixes. Critical. Critical
Double six.
speed. Name of the episode.
Yep. So with critical speed, somehow, you manage to shoot into overdrive. You do some sick gnarly flips, yo, and then
That's what the kids are saying these days.
Gnarly
God,
flips.
you're a
That's what
teacher.
the kids are saying. Oh my god!
All of our neighbors are used to this shenanigans, and so we don't shock anyone too badly.
You pass some old guy with a cane. That sure was gnarly.
Cowabunga.
And eventually-
Tutti fruity.
you're pretty sure you spot the hooded figure ducking down, heading towards the docks. You haven't caught up to them yet, but you've caught sight of him. You're definitely on the right track.
Great. Oop.
We keep going.
Yep. Eventually you come across a fence that you can't gnar over.
What? You know I am Wiggly, yeah?
So as in like gnar, as in like be gnarly over.
I'm aware. I speak lingo of hip. I'm just saying
all
that I
right.
don't believe it's possible that Wiggly couldn't be Gnarl. That's what the kids are saying.
I mean, you
So-
could try and push your way through.
Is this a fence that like Wiggly could go under and I could go over and we could catch back up on the other side?
You could try.
That seems like maybe the best choice. I mean, I've kind of committed to chasing this guy now. There's no point in stopping now.
Anything's better than sorting gems.
Pretty
So
much.
so if you could both give me a strength throw, Wrigley, you've got advantage on this as you try and like do some kind of like jump and slide maneuver, I guess.
Are you still flailing Kay, just out of curiosity? Just thought you might be just to look cool, you know?
And not to look cool, but probably it's more a case of I'm just flailing in general as I try to stay on the speeding skateboard. So
Maybe the spider bot could be flailing you as this happens.
yeah, that was a 3 and a 1 for me. So
Yep.
Don't
Not the
worry,
most
I got you
athletic.
back with 2 1s and a 4.
Oh, he's rolling histories back again. Excellent. I was worried that when you roll two successes.
we get stuck in the fence, all of us.
Boom!
Bing, 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 bing.
So you see this ramp, you try and take the ramp. Unfortunately, you time your leap off incorrectly and collect a clothesline of white underpants. Some old guy's clothing wraps around you midair as you clear this fence. You're delayed slightly in trying to capture this person, um, but you're pretty sure that they've ducked into one warehouse, but you're not sure.
Okay. So it's a choice of a couple of warehouses that they might have ducked into, or we're not sure if they ducked into a warehouse or they went somewhere else.
So you're pretty sure they ducked into one warehouse, but you're not 100% sure. So you can either like see if Kay can find be more certain, so you don't waste time looking for the wrong one. You can burst into the one that you think they went into, or something new.
Uh, well, all of these bots are kind of prototypes, and I mean, I guess I flail K in the air again and see if it
Mhm.
helps. Last time he did a fairly effective boop on the direction I was supposed to be going, and that was successful. So,
It was a bing, thank you very much.
eh, boop, bing.
He's gonna spend important time cleaning the back of Astrakan's coat of all the travel dust and things like that.
That is a
Very
very
useful robot.
important, yeah, very useful.
Good. All right,
I mean,
roll. Okay, roll your perception check as you're spun around violently. In the hopes of finding information.
A 4 and 2 5s.
All right. So you go in this like up on this upward arc, and you can see there's like this little narrow windows, too small for Astrakan to fit through. But you do see this figure kind of like hopping over crates. You need to get in there quickly, otherwise you're not going to be able to catch up. You see it, and Astrakan. So you kind of get the beeps, and you see this like big, heavily locked door. Um, you go up and try it. It is locked from the inside, and the windows are too small for you to crawl through.
TB is not really designed for independent movement, but
Boop,
he,
boop,
yeah, yeah, okay, that's
Beep, beep,
enough.
beep,
That's enough
beep.
wiggly.
boop.
Hebe, can you go in through the window and like unlock the door on the inside, but don't be seen? Can
Boop.
can you do that? Is that a thing
Beep,
you?
beep.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I mean, give it a shot. If somebody tries
Beep,
to hit you with a broom, come back out the window.
beep, beep.
All right.
Hebe will wander off.
Mhm.
Um, so what's the best way to get in? Is there like a
So you can spider climb. There's like a few
yeah
kind of like narrow air vent type places you can quickly squeeze through. Are you going for speed or for sneakiness?
sneakiness?
All right, roll for advantage because you're like itty bitty.
Yep, cool. We'll do. Uh, I got a 1, 2, and a 3.
Awesome. So what happens? So what happens is you climb up through this window, and as you're like on the inside of the building, you drop with a clatter, and straight away we hear this. Oh shit! Astrakan, you can hear this through the door as well, and sprinting, and then the slam of another door.
Ah,
Wiggly wants to kick it into 12th gear again and just plow through the front door.
Roll for it.
Yeah. Advantage on strength, I believe.
Advantage on strength.
I'm gonna try running around to the back of the warehouse to see if I can just find another door
I
that's
rolled
open.
a 6.
All right. So, Astrakan, you take off around the other side and try to get to the other building because you got zero faith in your robots trying to do what they need to do. Wiggly, against
Boop.
all odds, smashes a hole through the door big enough for them to go through, but not Astrakan. Um, you see Hebe's kind of like on its back's turtling and unable to right itself.
And this is why I have no faith. I
Yeah.
built these things. I know. I know how this works.
Where's Kay, incidentally? Did you take Kay with you, or are they like desperately rolling after you?
I I'm reasonably sure that Hebe didn't take Kay with them, so I'll be holding on to Kay by the string that we've attached to him.
Awesome.
To stop him tripping people over, yeah.
So
I
this
mean, you
gross
can
little
still roll
eyeball,
along. The
yeah,
string
this
should
like
help.
eyeball sensor bot is roll is on a string behind you.
Yeah.
Um, Hebe, you jump on top of Wiggly. Wiggly, could you give me a speed roll to see if you can get to the other stall and smash through before and catch up with Astrakan, or if you guys are going to be left behind?
I rolled a 5, so yes.
So once again, you like ramp through, smash through a window. All this unnecessary destruction might come up later.
It looks cool though. There's
Yeah.
explosions, people screaming, some guy yelling my cabbages. It's good.
Yeah. Astrakan, you reach to the other side of the door to see this person that you're chasing after. They got like this little sack of that they were filling from your store. They're like walking across um laundry lines between buildings. So they've like climbed up the building next door, walking across to try and get away from you.
Ah. Well, the only bot I've got with me is Kay. So, Kay, this is your moment to shine.
Okay, all right, cool. Kay's gonna
If
try to spot things, I guess.
if
Throw it
this
at his
if
head.
All
when you say
right.
they're walking across laundry lines, like tightrope walking,
Yeah.
or cool,
It's like
I'm gonna throw Kay at them and suggest that Kay tries to wrap its string around them and trip them up.
all right. Roll. I'm gonna give you make a 2d6 roll as a ranged as you use a K as an improvised ranged weapon. Wasn't expecting this to happen so early.
Am I rolling or is
No, Astrakan's doing it
okay,
properly.
okay, okay.
That is a 3 and a 5.
Nice. So you don't manage to wrap them up, but you do manage to bonk them on the top on the head. They fall over and land in a backyard, two fences over. Kay, you're kind of disorientated. You're not sure where you are. We'll catch up with you in a moment. Wiggly, you burst through this window with Hebe clutching on with all six limbs, just as this happens. So you've reunited with your owner.
I pull up in a grind and look really cool and just pull down my sunglasses and say, boop.
Do you have like that Mexican da 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 horn?
No, I'm not that
Ah.
cool. I only got boop, 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 boop,
So the Link victory sound plays as your electronic skateboard reunites with you.
boop. Let's go with Woody Woodpecker, but
Astrakan, what's your plan?
boop.
Um, I'm gonna try to get closer to this masked burglar before they regain their senses from falling off their high wire.
Yeah. So
If I
just
can get
you're
to
putting
them,
on
that'd be great. If I can't, then get closer, I guess.
Boop.
so are you jumping on Wiggly?
You said there were 2 or 3 fences between me and them.
That's right. Are
Boop.
you gonna smash through?
Uh, I might just run and ask Wiggly
Boop.
to also do the same thing. Because Wiggly
Yeah.
seems okay to smash small holes, but I'm not really sure that I want to be smashed through a fence
You should
multiple
try it.
times.
I've been smashed through a fence once or twice.
Look, I don't want to throw the word coward around, but it's fine. Roll 2d6 for as a speed roll as you try and catch up with this person.
5 and a 4.
Nice. So you manage you put on a burst of speed and you're like one fence over. They've managed to kind of slowly regain their senses. Just as you reach them, they try and throw some dirt in your face to try and get some to kind of try and distract you. I'll roll for this as they get out of what is it? Pocket sand? Is that what the guy calls it in
Pocket sand.
pocket sand? Yeah.
What was
Um,
that from?
Get the
King of the
hell.
Hill.
Oh, yeah.
He manages to get it. So kind of he throws his pocket sand in your face and manages to scramble up and get away. As they do so, you do manage to regain some of the gems that slipped out of their pockets. Not all of them, but you've managed to retrieve some.
God, there's a rock in that sand. Oh, wait, it's a gem.
Uh, what kind of percentage? Are we looking at like half the gems?
Oh, like 10%.
Mm,
Like it's spilled from their pocket type thing.
yeah.
Boop. Wiggly rolls up with Hebe on his back, where all the gems are. Boop.
I mean, I guess I carry on giving chase.
Yeah. You're,
Pocket all the gems.
this is like the most excitement you've had in probably years at this point.
Yeah, I'm just also aware that I am not really an athletic character, so I
Yeah,
that much running might be close to as much running as I can do in a go at this
fair
point in
enough.
time.
Fair enough.
Just use your wind to cast air and make a ventilator. What's it called? The
Fill it
asthma
in now.
puffers. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
He be the spider bot turns up, holds up your Ventolin inhaler as you start giving chase.
Not asthmatic, just unfit.
Yeah. You managed, so they managed to get away from you this time. Um, you see them kind of running along the edge of the cliff face at this point, like leaving the housing area and trying to lose you in the wilderness. Big open space for Wiggly to kind of let loose, if you want to ride on them, or you can just be on your. And this is part of why you got an e-board, right? Or you can try and run with your bots and use them as a distraction.
If it looks like it's open space and I'm not going to get smashed through a fence, I'm
Hmm.
happy to hop on Wiggly and see if we can catch up with this
All right.
nefarious criminal.
yeah, you are.
So
You
as you step on
wanted
Wiggly
you
and he
wanted
makes
to
it,
be stood on.
Yeah, I
as you
did.
step on Wiggly's face, Wiggly
Boop.
a terrible sound and takes off. Wiggly, could you give me one quick speed roll as you try and catch up with this nefarious villain?
2, 2, and 3.
He's back.
Straight back to normal rolls.
Oh,
Boo! Running out of power.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way to describe it. So you kind of power on. You like unleash little jets on the side, like as a little power up as you get ready to
Just on
to
one
deploy
side, the other side's
yourself.
still broken.
And then you start to take off, and then
Boop.
low power mode engaged. This person is sprinting. What are you gonna do, Astrakan?
Hebe will start throwing gems at them.
They go
he
about
does
4
not
inches.
have the gems. I picked those up. The whole point of this is to retrieve them. He can throw
Pickpocket the
rocks
gems
at
and
them.
throw them at them.
Yeah.
Um, how far away from me is the burglar?
With a full failure like that, it's gonna take a lot for you to catch up. You might be able to like go back and see if you can like use investigation to see where they might have come from. But it looks like they've managed to run away at this point. You can try, but it's up to you.
I'm just wondering if they're too far away for me to like blind them with a light flare or throw a knife at them or something.
No, you can manage to do one of those. They're just in range for any of that. For any of that.
Eh, what's the call? Do I try to just blind them or do I actually try to stab them?
Well, they tried to blind you.
True. I'm kind of annoyed with them now though. And I do have these very sharp, very lovely knives that I got yesterday at the market.
Go for it.
So
You're entirely your choice.
I might try to throw a throwing knife at them.
All right. Roll with advantage as you try and stick them.
6 and 2 fours.
Nice. So with the six, you definitely get them. They drop a few more gems as well as they do. They're not willing to fight you, especially when you got all these weird little robots, eyeballs, spider things, and the skateboards that are not gonna like stand and fight. They run, but you manage to collect a few more gems when you catch up to them. In fact, you've nicked their bag, and you've got like a little trail that you can try and follow. it leads back towards the port area. It looks like they were trying to like circle back around to the warehouse district where they started off from. What do you um sorry. So it looks like they're in another warehouse, possibly hiding out. Are you gonna go in? Are you gonna try and get some cops involved? What are you thinking?
Um, does does Horniscarli have a reasonably reliable police force?
No. So there's like a 50-50 chance that if this person's like part of some like organized group, that the police will be like, we don't see anything. This clearly belongs all to them.
Hmm. All right.
Why are you trying to steal from them?
Hebe, last time you tried going in through a window and there was a complete fail. What happened? What was wrong? Do you need balancing or something?
Beep, 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 beep.
Show me which foot hurts.
Hebe goes on at the back and holds all of them up.
Uh,
It
that's
hurts
gonna
everywhere.
that's a lot of work. So
I
that's
mean,
not gonna
you've
work
got your
then.
handy multi-tool. You can try and give him a quick tighten in the center spiral, I guess, whatever it's called. Gear.
Hmm. You're the only one who actually has manipulator arms. This is clearly a mistake. You all need to have manipulator arm. I wonder what a skateboard with manipulator arms would be able to do.
Probably some sick
That's
high fives as well as rad moves.
I might need to reprogram it first though.
Boo.
All right, well, one of you is on low energy and the other one has problems with all 6 feet. The only robot who's actually functional at this point is the eyeball.
Maybe you don't know.
It's not going to help.
Isn't the eyeball been left behind?
No, I'm
You're,
still
you're still carrying the eyeball. Okay.
carrying the eyeball.
Okay.
Beep, beep, beep,
You've
beep,
got moments to make a
beep,
call
beep,
because
beep,
this guy's
beep,
starting
beep.
gonna start gonna get away.
I don't
Hebe
Mhm.
waves arms at the door.
Yeah. Throw
I
me in,
mean,
coach.
you can kick me like a soccer ball if you want.
Imagine you being like tennis ball sized.
Tennis ball size? Okay, tennis ball size.
And can sort of hold up. Okay.
I mean, you are right, Hebe. I should actually just check the door first. I go and check if the warehouse door is locked.
Right. So this is the same one that Wiggly managed to like bash a hole through earlier. So it was locked earlier. You can try and like you've got like your multi-tool. You could try and like pick the lock, I guess, if you
I
don't trust your robots to do the job.
I will try to pick the lock, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, none of these robots are good at picking locks, and I'm a bit worried about Hebe actually. I I don't know what's wrong with it.
I feel that way about Connor's characters all the time.
Sick
Sad
burn, dude.
Right. I attempt to
beep.
pick the lock.
All right, roll 2d6 as you pull out your multi-tool.
That is a 6 and a 4.
Excellent. So you've got like the doctor's type of sonic screwdriver attachment. You managed to oh, except it doesn't work on wood. It works this time. Uh, so you managed to vibrate the lock off and it quietly enough that you're able to sneak in. You hear voices talking in a corner. You can try to get the drop on them, but you do have a loud skateboard behind with you at the moment.
I'm going to very quietly instruct the loud skateboard to be quiet, no beeping, and to go round in a pincer motion so that it's coming from the other direction towards them.
All right.
Just because I've had enough, clearly got solar panels, so I've recovered just enough power to do that.
So
I
Astrakan,
silently say beep.
could you give me a 2d6 as you try and sneak up from one side, and then we'll see how Wiggly does.
A 3
Maybe
and a
we'll
4.
jump on Wiggly.
Oh, you've got
Brrr.
disadvantage, Wiggly.
Oh, in that case, I'll take the 3 or the 4.
No, reroll one. I
A
believe
4.
in you. Okay. Astrakan, how did you go?
That's a 1 and a 4 for me.
Awesome. So the good news is they're looking at Wiggly first. So they hear this like big loud beep boop as echoing through the warehouse, and then as you kind of like bump into a crate and what's that? What's that? And all they
I need
see
to
is
put a mute button on these things.
yes. That's the wench that threw that knife at me. She's why I've got half the call. And the person that so these two kind of dodgy looking figures. There's the cloak figure that you've been chasing after. You realize they're a halfling, because halflings apparently are always criminals in this world, except when they're heroes. Um, and then the other one is this human who they were trying to like fence the gems off to. Uh,
I am gonna yell at them and try to be intimidating, which I don't know is gonna work because I'm small. But
Maybe
yeah.
we'll
I am also
bravely,
very fierce and I have knives.
All right. So
maybe
roll.
we'll bravely jump in front and hold his arms in a kung fu like stance.
I will say that with the kung fu like stats, it sounds like the robot from Big Hero 6, like trying to be intimidating. The little one from the start of the movie, is going into combat stance. I'll give you advantage on this roll as you've got this like mini bot army following you around, as you try and be intimidating.
I'm gonna yell at the thieves to steal from someone else and give back the gems.
Mm.
Because that always works.
Well, I got a 5.
Yeah. So they
Okay.
both kind of back away a little bit. They're kind of like splitting their attention between Wiggly, who they're not sure what it is. It's just something loud, and you, who's
Boom.
flashing knives. Um, the character with the cloak pulls out a slingshot and tries to shoot you. If you, oh, they miss. And the shot goes clattering, but it looks like they actually used one of the gems. They don't have like stones on them, so they've tried to fling a gem at you.
That, that's just stupid.
Well, they
Extra
figured they could get
pointy.
it back up your corpse after.
But it'll damage the quality of the gem. Won't be
Mm.
worth as much after that. All right, they missed me. I'm gonna try to throw a knife at the halfling again.
Yep. Roll to halfling. Roll to slice.
Um, that's 2 4s and a 2, so no.
No. All right. Seeing, so you both kind of like at this weird standoff where you've both missed each other but tried to kill each other. The halfling is like, "Look, the hall's not that great. I've lost half of it anyway," and he kind of throws on the ground, runs away.
Maybe charges with a great shout or a long angry beat.
A long angry beep. All right. You're chasing after this person who's running away.
Yeah.
All right. So you're heading towards the fence. So this larger human who kind of like doesn't know what to do. They see you running at them and they're going to try and take a swing at you. Remember, you've only got one hit point as a robot.
Fine. Brave robot will protect Astrakan.
All right. They boot you back into Astrakan where you fall in separate pieces.
And
They take this up. Astrakan, unless you do something else, they're going to also turn around and run.
Is
Well,
there is there anything that Kay can spot, like from above, that can potentially knock down to stop their escape?
Roll me 3d6, see what you can see what happens.
Alrighty. It's a 2, 4, and a 5.
Cool. Are you trying to stop them or are you trying to hurt them?
Stop them.
All right. So you kind of so you have this moment where you're looking up and down, left, right, and you see this like rubrics. No, not rubric. What's the name of the guy who does like those ridiculous machines where if you knock over a can, eventually like it moves a ball that hits a lever that does all this
Oh,
other.
yeah. Yeah.
You notice this contrivance where you can roll over and hit a can, and it will slam shut the big door at the end and stop the fence from running out. So this ball rolls, it hits a piece of timber, the timber falls, hits a crate, the crate falls over and blocks the exit.
Wow. That worked. Wow. Kay just jumped up and down like the first good thing it's ever done. Like beep, beep, beep,
Exuberant
beep,
beeping
beep, 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 beep.
and
And honestly, if they've dumped the gems, then I am happy to just collect the gems and head back to the workshop. I don't feel any need to chase down criminals any further than that.
all right.
Um, although if the robots want to play, that's fine.
Wheelie will use the remaining of his power to move forward at incredibly slow speeds and ram him in the ankle.
All right.
I,
Maybe as in
I
multiple
will
cases.
see if I can. It's
Yeah.
Hebe who was broken.
That's
Yeah.
right.
See if I can do something about getting him mostly functional again.
Give me a 3d6 roll as you pull out the magic multi-tool that can do all these things on the spot.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Reminds me of
So
Doctor
Hebe's now in
Who's
two pieces rather than
Sudo.
three, but still not functional. As you go to gather up the gems, though, the bag feels weirdly warm, uncomfortably. So,
I will look in the bag.
yeah. So as you do, so you see one of like something very rare, one of those soul gems. But when this thief has dropped it, it's cracked and it's starting to leak. If you don't find some way of containing it quickly, it will ruin the rest of the gems.
Um, well, I pull it out of the bag.
Yep. It's
Uh,
scalding.
how, like, is it going to explode? Is that what these things?
Potentially, if you can find a way, if you can find something big enough to put it inside, it might be able to contain it. So Wiggly would be big enough, but it will take. Oh, it might.
Ooh.
Wait, if I put it inside Wiggly, wouldn't that just mean that it explodes Wiggly?
No,
Boop.
it would drain the power out into him, into
Mm,
them. Sorry, as a genderless robot.
okay. I mean, I can try doing that.
All right. So you do that, and you realize you're going to need to use pieces of Hebe to kind of hold it in place. Um, Otherwise, it's not going to kind of stay in peace in one place. And then as a part of that as well, you throw K on top to help drain the energy further. And by the time you're done, you've got the very first kind of iteration of Darling um, forming up. Uh, there'll be refinement in the future, but between the Soul Gem providing the extra energy, the larger body of Wiggly, the arms of Hebe, and the eye of K, you've got, you know, Darling point oh one.
Oh, look, here's the mute switch. And she never spoke.
And this is why Darling never speaks again.
Cool. My combined robot seems much more functional. I like the spider robot kind of format, but yeah. Huh. I gather up the gems and start making my way laboriously back to the workshop where I still have a list of things to do.
Yeah, but at least this time you've got an actual helpful robot. It's this nonsense distractions that you were dealing with
Hey,
earlier.
it's true. The combined robot should be able to sort those gems for me. This is fantastic.
The eyes are
Achievement
in there.
unlocked.
But yeah, and that's how we end up with birthing Darling. Darling 0.01.
It's beautiful. I'm so glad I could be a part of it. I promised I wouldn't cry.
But as we come back, we zoom in on this prototype that you refine into future Darling. We move into the future. We see Darling kind of patrolling in your group. So you got Melody and Astrakan kind of working together on one side, and you have Lockie and Mr. Whitbear kind of on the other side. Darling's doing this like little patrol figure eight between the two groups, kind of trying to keep an eye on everyone all at once in the best way it can. Um, and It's a bit worried, but it can't communicate because of that mute button that was installed all those years ago.
Because it kept making noise, goddammit.
Because it knows something that the others don't, and it's really kind of doesn't know what to do about it and what the right thing is. But I can't tell you.
You know what it probably is?
Against
It knows that
Darling.
there's a really cool half pipe just up the road, and no one's going to stop.
Darling is perfectly capable of tapping out Morse code.
Oh, it doesn't. It's not you who wants to tell. Anyway,
Ooh, intrigue.
and that's it. It's only a quick one today.
Beautiful. Glad we got to have Darling's backstory.
Don't you mean glad you got to be Darling's backstory?
Be Darling backstory. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
It's beautiful.
And we
I
are
feel
all
more connected
darling.
to her than ever.
Then you'll love attempts earlier.
Yes.
I still find it hilarious that Darling, the completely non-sentient golem robot, is the most competent member of our party.
It's almost as if the people controlling our characters are the worst.
Almost.
Almost.
Look, I might have implied that, but I didn't say it.
Because
Darling
Darling
knows.
is made up
She's the one who wants to say.
Darling's made up of three of the best of us, right? That's why.
Boop.
I'm going to tell Melody you said that.
Melody had the opportunity to be here. Had
Yeah.
other things on,
Unfortunately, they had other things on. That's right.
Yeah.
and couldn't be part of something great.
Ugh.
Well,
Well,
thank you. That's good. I
Yeah,
enjoyed a little
Thank you.
cheeky backstory.